What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Tide Talk. It's Sunday, October 12th, and we're back to talk RIFC's huge 5-0 win over Tampa Bay in the last USL Championship home game of the season for the Tide. Every episode of Tide Talk is available on YouTube, and if you're watching now, please take a second to subscribe to our channel and click that like button on this video. You can also find us on your favorite podcast applications like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and if you listen on one of those, we'd really appreciate it if you took a minute to leave us a 5-star rating and a short review, as it helps more people find Tide Talk. One last plug, if you're not already, go check out the RIFC Club Collector app. Enter the code Tide Talk 25, all lowercase, all one word, to get an exclusive pack added to your collection today. So cozy up, crack a beer. Whoa, let's dive into this one. What's up, Ryan? How's your Sunday going?
It's been real wet, real rainy, but yeah, I mean, Patriots won. But other than that, very chill. Honestly, much lighter after a big RIFC win, which, just makes the weekends that much better. How about you?
Yeah, vibes are good. The Patriots game, which I don't really like the NFL or watching much of it. I did. USL Championship, were the officiating crew out there on the field, it seemed. That was a very, very interesting watch.
I was shocked when Matt Hands was like, I've never seen worse refereeing than this. And I was like, we watch, like, most weeks we see worse, or at least on par refereeing than this. But yeah.
Absolutely wild. Also worth noting, as we were all kind of going over our dinner plans, that Sarah posted a picture of some fried up chicken and said, I'm Matt Hands. So I think she cooked them, or said it's Hands. So she cooked Hands. She turned him into chicken. I do not think he exists anymore. I feel bad. We lost a good one.
I feel bad, but at least he got one last Riptide report out, which is how we'd want to go anyway. So.
That's true. That is very true. But let's start with did you add the lineup in your slide or not?
I did not. No, sorry.
Oh, all right, my bad. Thought you said you're doing that. We'll start with the lineup from last night. And I'll pull that up on the screen right now. It was a pretty, I think, kind of expected 11 to see. We had Koke Vegas and net. Diop gets his second straight start. Stoneman, Yao, Nodarse, Sanchez, Holstad, Baccarat, Amos Shapiro Thompson, JJ Williams, and Noah Fuson. I watched you at the tailgate kind of move around jello shots in a formation and come to the realization that Clay Holstad was most likely in the midfield. The most exciting thing, I think, for us so far this season.
Yeah, it was one of those things, like, I refused to believe it until they actually, like, got going. And even in, like, when we do kickoffs, they kind of line up as almost like it's like a football kickoff where they'll, like, run down the pitch, like, almost in a formation. So it took until about, like, a minute into the match that I truly believed that Clay Holstad was playing in midfield, which I was, you'll be shocked to hear, just absolutely delighted with. But yeah, overall, I think a very strong lineup. Obviously, sucks to see Haribo now back on the injury report. We've talked again so much about how him being back has been so crucial to us over the past few weeks. And then I think just, Mabika still kind of not being back in the starting lineup, I think is just interesting. Obviously, we have a ton of depth now in the center back position. Diop gives us a little bit of a different look because he is actually left footed. So, tough for Mabika, who played so well for us through pretty core stretch of the season. But other than that, I think it's a lineup, especially with Quizera out, that you can't get too bothered about. Again, also would love to see Maxi in there, but we move on.
Absolutely. I think, Andrew was going through it in the chat, with just kind of hoping it wasn't Stoneman in the midfield, which we have seen before.
There was a point where Andrew was trying to say that he thought it might be Grant and Hugo double pivot in the midfield, and I was like, that is insane.
Extremely conservative there. We talked about a couple episodes ago how we really expected to see Stoneman kind of make his way back into the starting 11 with the love of him and Kano and back and forth. So the Mabika shout's interesting that you mentioned, because it's now 2 games in a row since the red card without starting. So definitely something to kind of look out and see how that plays out down the stretch. In this one, it wasn't really like Tampa troubled us and, made it a big of an issue. But against a team with pace and really kind of goal threats, I don't know if this is our best back 3 or back 4, however you want to describe how this one shaped out. But, Mabika, I thought, had played a very, very solid season, and it almost seems like his playing time's kind of tailing off here at the end.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Kano has always been very kind of big on like it's what have you done for me lately? And
Sure.
for better or worse, I think he rewards players with form, but also is very quick to kind of take it away. And a lot of times, and to your point too about Grant, like it's the two of them have been very open about their shared commitment. I mean, we've seen Grant wear the armband. Weirdly, we've also seen Mabika wear the armband pretty early into his Rhode Island FC tenure here. So I think we, especially with the depth we have at center back, are probably going to have to get used to it being a bit of a committee job. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this is more or less what we kind of keep seeing. Maybe we do see a little bit of rotation at the wingback position, depending on who we're playing, but definitely could see something of this sort being kind of what we see moving forward.
I think Diop's an interesting piece. I think he plays the position really well. We've seen him out wide. We've seen him kind of more a little bit central like we did last night. But I know Timmy in particular wasn't too pleased with his performance against Vegas. We kind of had to talk him into it during his rewatch. But I think Diop looked very good last night. And if he can kind of settle in the squad and really kind of lock down that left side and be a more defensive piece behind an attacking Aldair or an attacking Quizera, I think it could really help kind of solidify the attack moving forward, and can also, by reverse, on the opposite side, keep Clay Holstad in the midfield.
Quite frankly, whatever lineup gets Clay Holstad into the midfield is great with me. We'll get more into that in a second, but as Martin says, like it's not even just that he's playing this kind of hybrid center back, left back, which is like pretty much ideally suited to his profile. It's kind of what he's played his entire career, like those two positions. But as Martin says, he's also now taking free kicks. He's taking corners. Clearly has impressed in his short time with Rhode Island. We do know he has a pretty great pedigree. Like it was a #1 pick coming out of college, won a national championship at Clemson. Didn't work out with him in the MLS, but is someone who clearly has a lot of talent, and hopefully Kano can help get a lot of that out of him.
For sure. Just adding another dimension, I think, is really good there. And I think we've seen some matches where Aldair has been asked to track back a little bit more than normal. And with having, Diop kind of essentially sitting behind him, it allows Aldair to get more forward. And I think this was one of the better games we've seen from Sanchez all season.
Yeah, he looked really free. I think the combination of him, Noah, and JJ was especially deadly in that first half. But yeah, having someone like Diop and also Clay Holstad behind you makes your life a lot easier. Makes you feel a little freer because there's a lot of security behind you. Also, Diop, I really like he has a lot of forward intent with his passing. Like he's not afraid to go direct. Also, it's helpful just the angles that he can play because he's left-footed. Like it's not scary for him to go up the line versus a right footer in that left center back role that has to cut across their body with their dominant foot. So I kind of talked a lot about that when we signed him, that like the fact that he's literally left-footed is something we don't have. And excited to see how that continues to progress throughout the season.
For sure. And it was a hot start for RIFC, as in the 8th minute, we got the scoring going. And here's a look at that first goal that made it 1-0.
At Tidewater, home of RIFC. Here's Fuson, who's been in good form for Rhode Island. J.J. Williams scores brilliantly to put Rhode Island in front. He just always emerges when Rhode Island needs him. And on this big night in Pawtucket, J.J. Williams puts Rhode Island up 1-0.
But they're being used a little bit differently. Hugo Baccarat, his ability to offer some balance to the midfield, and Noah Fuson and his ability with J.J. Williams to provide balance up top.
It's a great turn by Noah there in the midfield to pick out JJ, and JJ's first touch on the ball is phenomenal. He knows he's shooting that thing right away. Almost as good as the announcer calling it Tidewater from the get in the beginning of the clip, which I thought was absolutely awesome. But a really good link up. JJ, like I said, he's going to shoot that ball. He's setting it up. He's setting up that right foot. And I love seeing that, cocky kind of swag celebration from JJ. That's when he's really feeling it and firing on all cylinders. And we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout this one, but just a really great goal, great lead up, and a great finish on this one.
Yeah, I mean, like we just said, the link up between Aldair, Noah, and JJ that first half was like they absolutely killed that left-hand side of the field, the right-hand side of Tampa's defense. But like you said, great turn by Noah. I think that half space between the wing and the kind of the center forward area is really where Noah thrives. And the more that we can get him in those spaces, we're going to see throughout this match how he can do really well from both the assisting side as well as being a threat on goal too. So I think it was honestly really relieving for us to score first. I mean, we haven't done it much this year, and to score in the 8th minute, it just made that atmosphere just feel lighter, more exciting. Last week it took us till like deep into the second half until the crowd could really get into it and get excited. With such a packed stadium and people were so excited to be there. There was lines everywhere. There was just like a really nice fan appreciation night, like aired everything, and to score early, get fans immediately going, I think was huge for the team.
Vibes were lifted right away for sure, and the play kept up in the first half. Tampa had a couple like hopeful long balls over the top, but nothing like too crazy threatening. And RIFC was actually able to double the lead just 20 minutes after that first goal in the 28th minute. So let's take a look at that.
And that's tied with his teammate Leo Fernandez for the most for the Rowdies in the modern era. As Fuson's in one-on-one for Rhode Island. Oh yes, he scores! JJ Williams at the heart of it. And Noah Fuson with the finish to double Rhode Island's lead.
And look who it is again getting involved centrally, Hugo Baccarat. But this is the balance that we're talking about with JJ Williams and Noah Fuson. One checks underneath, one provides the verticality. And those two players playing close together in nature, not only in their relationship, but positionally on the field, unlocks back lines in an all-new way for Rhode Island that we have failed to see consistently.
We have failed to see that consistently all year long, but a nice little flick on from Hugo there in the 1-2 aerial touch by JJ. And Noah is able to hold his run just long enough fractionally to stay onside and take that one in and just tap it by the keeper. But I know Sarah had mentioned it earlier in the chat. The celebrations are great. JJ is raising the roof. Noah's doing his thing. Vibes are at an all-time high, especially after this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just right now, it's like we're going to get into the team form, and we've talked a bit about it the past few weeks, but the sport's a lot more fun to play when you're winning and you're doing well and like things are going your way. And this is the team that is starting, you can see, to believe that it's going their way a little bit. Like, that 1-2 touch from JJ in the air to spring Noah, like we have not seen anything remotely like that this year. I mean, the amount of time
Jason says that so pretty in the chat. This is one of the prettiest RFC goals that I remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of those goals.
Everything leading up to it.
Yeah, but how often have we seen an RIFC player running at one-on-one, like unmarked at a goalkeeper this year? Like it's happened so rarely besides the past like 2 weeks, basically. So just that. And then also Noah, left-footed finish to kind of really perfectly place that you could tell Noah's confidence has just like really been building these past few weeks. And quite frankly, I don't know if he slots at home perfectly, earlier this season when, JJ said in this press conference, like it's just, you're starting to see the ball hit the back of the net, and that just changes a lot of things for you. The net looks bigger for you.
For sure. Martin says the last 2 games we scored more goals than the other 13 matches. Absolutely insane. That's also 13 comes up again. That's 13 goals in both seasons' home finales. So on the home finale next year for RAFC, hammer the over. Absolutely hammer the over. Our good friend Coach Almeida, who I got to see in the lot before, says keeper was flustered. Tactically, Rowdies didn't even change formation, help the keeper, and keep the dismantling from being worse after the second goal. I think, knowing that Bill Hamid was Miami's keeper when they came here and stood on his head like Prime Buffon, I think I said to you in the lot, was a little bit of cause for worry. Never in my wildest mind would I have thought we would put 5 past him so effortlessly, and he was frustrated. He went from man of the match from his trip here with Miami to, I believe it was a 4.7 rating on FOTMob last night. So just a tale of 2 teams for Bill Hamid and his 2 trips to Tidewater. Glad we were able to get the best of him this time for sure.
Yeah, people in the supporters section were being very kind to him about that too, about being a Miami reject and all that stuff. So as always, excellent stuff from Defiance. But yeah, it's weird though, because I don't know that he had like a nightmare of a game. Like it wasn't like he was, putting them in himself. Like those were all like very good finishes. So it's hard to like blame him, but at the end of the day, when you're a keeper and you let 5 go past you, you're gonna take some shit for that.
Oh, for sure. The good thing was for us, it went from good to better right before the half with a JJ Williams penalty kick. So let's take a look at that, making it 3-0 right before halftime.
Important Rhode Island penalty. And Williams buries the penalty. 2 first-half goals, a first-half assist. Rhode Island running riot over the Rowdies. They lead by 3-0, and JJ Williams is at the heart of it all.
What was he shooting there, Ryan?
I was going to ask you the same question. I have no idea what that celebration is.
It almost looks like is it a Timmy Micro?
I don't think it was a Siaha. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think it was Siaha. It looked much more lighthearted, and I'll leave it at that. Did you?
Yeah.
Question for you. Who did you think was going to take the penalty when it came up?
I actually did think it was going to be JJ, and there was some rumblings around me of because there was a long pause before he actually stepped up. There was quite a bit of time before he stepped up, and it was like, who's going to be it? One guy would kind of like walk close and go around. I was thinking JJ, knowing he was already on the goal. Noah was probably my close second as to who I would have thought took it, but I think the JJ redemption arc for his last penalty shootout effort was totally set up well. Being on the opposite end, we didn't have to worry about any aerials coming flying our way. But I was kind of also hoping for JJ in that it could help, kind of help him right the form and send us into the playoffs in hotter form and having a little bit of confidence in case a spot like that comes up.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Hans and I were joking about this. It's like, is there anyone who's been like, Mr. October more than JJ Williams the past 2 years? Like the audacity and like the just confidence and almost the swagger he's playing with is incredible. And it just really, it's a perfect time to express that, especially when someone like Maxey, who has been our penalty taker, isn't on the pitch. Like, let him go one-on-one with the keeper, and he absolutely smoked that with conviction. And great penalty from him. So long may it last, because when JJ's in this kind of form, as he mentioned, like no other team is going to want to play Rhode Island FC when he's especially in this kind of form, because he's just an absolute pain in the ass to play against when he's like this. Even if it's
RIFC Hartford in the 6-3.
I don't want to start talking about that yet. I really don't. Let's make the playoffs first. We'll go.
A whole nother tale there, but let's take it through halftime stats. First half possession was 51% in favor of the Rowdies to 49 for RIFC. We outshot them 10-5 with 2 big chances to 0 for the Rowdies. 81% passing accuracy for RIFC, 80 for Tampa. 6 fouls Tampa, 3 Rhode Island, 1 corner for Tampa, 3 for Rhode Island, and the 3-goal lead going in there at halftime. Overall, kind of big thoughts on the first half, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the big story at the half was the Noah JJ link up just coming back. But Martin put a great point in the chat where Clay wins the penalty in for the 3rd goal, but he, I think, was so huge on like how dominant we were in the half. Like anytime the ball was even remotely leaking into our space, or like Tampa was trying to clear it, he was just there to win every single second ball, every single one. And that's the power of him being in the midfield that I think just gets lost when he's not there, because it's really either him. He's, I think, genuinely like one of the best players in the league at recoveries in that second ball. I think Haraval is up there with him, but if you don't have either one of them in there, I think it was such a huge missing piece of long stretches of the season with neither of them being in the midfield. So massive game from Clay, on top of just the absolute hoop session from Noah and JJ there.
Like layup lines. It was awesome.
Oh, I was like, they look like prime Kobe and Shaq, just like 1-2, just absolutely dunking on that. It was awesome.
Sick. Martin's teasing a topic we'll cover after we get through the second half. The Chick-fil-A conspiracy is real. I am a firm believer in that. If you have not seen our socials, make sure you go interact with those posts. There are believers out there. You are not alone. We are here for you. We agree with you. It is real for sure. Jason says maybe we're going to get Popeye's corner kicks next year. We'll get one every game at that point, I think. But we'll touch on the Chick-fil-A conspiracy a little bit later. But let's talk about the second half, as the boys came out pretty strong again. It took about 21 minutes, 23 minutes, 24 minutes to get going with Chico scoring that fourth goal. JJ getting subbed off at halftime. How'd you feel about that? Were you cool with that?
Loved it. That's awesome. Love that we can give him a little bit of rest going into this kind of stretch here. He's got his 2 goals. He's in form.
And an assist.
In an assist. He has some giant bandage on his shoulder because we keep seeing him shirtless. So whatever's happening there, nothing wrong with that. Just hopefully he heals up from whatever that is. So yeah, love being able to give him like the second half off and he can, put his boots up and just enjoy it.
I think the wildest part is he comes off, Chico comes on, who's also been in a goal drought and, did very little of the work except for the finish, I would say, as far as this one. But let's
to the area, but Ancasio initially dealt with it all right, but Holstead wins it back. Fuson clips it across. It's played into the middle, and the header is in. Rhode Island as Albert Dequa.
Tampa Bay to look at managing. This was shaping up to be poor from them from the start. They invite all kinds of pressure. They don't handle the ball cleanly enough. And then Noah Fuson finds a way to get himself faced up, and it's just lax. Look, at the end of the day, well done on Rhode Island for taking advantage of the opportunity, but that is far too easy in the box from Tampa Bay Rowdies.
What was that with the little shirt over the head by Chico? Quite some interesting celebrations there.
I did some Big J. I got some Big J on this one. So I talked to Chico after the game and I asked him what was going on. And he's like, yeah, the guy was like holding him so hard. He went up to him and asked him if he wanted his jersey.
Oh, that's great.
That's why
awesome.
That's why the Tampa players were so pissed, because Chico kept asking him if he wanted his jersey.
Elite trolling,
yes.
As said there from the ghost of Matt Hands. But you mentioned it and Martin mentioned it in the chat. Clay winning the penalty. Clay won the press to lead up to this, and then that Aldair assist was absolutely incredible, beautiful, as Sarah says in the chat. And he laid down and did his fist bumps right in front of me, which was awesome. It was so cool to see how fired up he knew as soon as he put it in that spot. It was just getting headed in. And we've talked about Chico, Fox in the box. That's the ultimate Fox in the box goal, where your team did absolutely all the work, but you still got to finish it. And to his credit, he did, giving us the 4-0 lead at this point.
Do you think Chico knows what cornholio is?
I'm going to go hard no on that one.
We'll have to figure.
How about you?
Probably not, but I would love to ask him that question if we see the boys again this year. But yeah, no, it's, again, it's such like JJ and Noah are gonna get the headlines in this one, but just I hope like the takeaway is just please just keep Clay Holstead in the midfield. Like, he is one of the best midfielders in this league. He has like a couple superpowers. He like really can be an engine that just like propels us moving forward, as well as Noah, as well as JJ. So like, please, Kano, if you're listening, like keep Clay in the midfield at all cost. But yeah, he was fantastic. I thought Noah like does a really good job working the defender to kind of be able to whip that ball in back post, and then beautiful, perfect touch from Aldair to set that up. And yeah, like you said, we were standing right there. The funny part about the second half, I watched the entire thing. I was like, screw it, this is just a party. Once we got past 2-0, I was like, it's past the most dangerous lead in soccer. So I'm partying with Defiance the rest of the game. And yeah, it was just fun to be there, because he, like you said, we was like right in front of the two of us, just like on the ground, just celebrating, which was awesome, especially for a player like we've talked a lot, has been, I think, pretty underrated this year in terms of his contribution to this team. So to see him also have a moment last night was massive.
I've been a big Aldair fan throughout. I just like his effort, kind of that spark and passion he plays with. That happened right in front of us, and neither one of us dipshits could take our phone out and get a cool picture or video of that, of course. But a really cool moment for Aldair. Like I said,
content creators, guys,
passion and the way he plays. Thumbs down, boot. But it was good. Like Jason says, it's special, a special occasion when Ryan comes into 116. Just an overall huge party atmosphere, capitulated by the last goal, which many people's one of their favorite players, Maxi Rodriguez, getting on the score sheet and ending this one for the 5th goal.
for Ibarra. Awkward here. Deepa lays it off. It's looped over the top and in from Maxi Rodriguez. Maxi Rodriguez gets on the score sheet. Rhode Island have scored the most goals they've scored in a game this season. 5 stars across the board. And they're 5-0 up with 2 minutes to play.
And my goodness.
I think the club had a really cool Instagram story post. It was "Pardon me, just going to lift this one over" at Maxi Rodriguez. Nice ball from Ibarra. Nice touch by Chico. And another Fox on the box goal for this time for Maxi, where everyone else did all the work. He did the little dink, pardon me, and is able to get on the score sheet and seal this one up 5-0.
Yeah, I for some reason. So number one, that clip sounded so shitty because I did a screen recording off of YouTube because the USL just stopped tweeting out videos of our game. They didn't even put that one on the internet, so that was funny. Yeah, I for whatever reason I thought the Ibarra pass was extremely funny for some reason. He just got so much height on it. It was like he took a sand wedge out and was just I'm just mooning this one. Great touch by Chico to bring it down, and then I love how it was a really great finish from Maxi, but I loved how casual and he just barely celebrated it because it was whatever. He actually in the press conference after was yeah, I just had a feeling I was going to come on and score because it's one of those games where they're just kind of out of it and you can come in and get that guest that late sub appearance and just get one, which I thought is it's one of those things I would think as a non-professional athlete, but it's funny that they also can think that way too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, great finish by Maxi. Nice to see him also get on the score sheet on top of everybody. Chico ends up with a goal and an assist, which only can be helpful, throughout the rest of the regular season, and then hopefully the playoffs. So overall, it just again made the party even a bigger party.
For sure. To Maxi's point, Andrew Quadro said might be the laziest defending I've ever seen. I think at 4-0, the team was just turned off, and being inside of 2 minutes from the final whistle, they were done. So Maxi, being that guy and able to take advantage of that is absolutely incredible, and just capped off what was an amazing night, on and off the pitch with from the tailgate to everything. The vibes were just awesome. It was really, really good. But
when you got Chico doing cornholio at you, you're probably gonna
that's pretty epic. That needs to be a t-shirt, I think. Just him in that. We'll have to try to freeze frame that out, clean it up. But full-time stats, XG for RIFC was actually 2.21 to 0.9. I'm surprised Tampa's was actually that high. I feel like they didn't threaten at all. We also had the corner kick ruled off for outside. We'll talk about that again in a second. We'll talk about
we actually scored 7 goals in this.
7 goals. We had 2 goals, 2 disallowed goals in this one. Tampa Bay did lead one thing in possession. That's 53% to 47 versus RIFC. Kano's not going to be happy with that one, is he, Ryan?
He sure isn't. But Kano, can I interest you in 4 big chances created, which is pretty incredible.
The shots did kind of level off in the second half as we had a huge lead in the first half, but it came to 15-13, and both teams pretty accurate with their passing. Tampa at 83%, RI at 82%. 14 fouls for the Rowdies to 11 for RIFC, and 3 corners to 1 in favor of RIFC. The man of the match via FOTMob, 9.2 rating, 2 goals and an assist, Mr. JJ Williams. He also won the Defiant 1636 man of the match for this one. No matter who told you what to vote, you could always express your votes peacefully in there. It's totally fine, but I think very deserving from JJ. But I do want to talk Clay, because I went back and looked at some of his latest right back appearances versus last night, and he played at almost a full point higher than most of his higher right back ratings, an 8.2 FOTMob rating, all 90 minutes played, 1 shot. He completed 54 of 57 passes at 95%, 1 chance created, 1 penalty won, 10 defensive contributions, 1 block shot, 78 total touches, 2 of them in the opposition box, 11 passes into the final third, 7 of 7 accurate long balls, 6 tackles, 3 clearances, 1 headed clearance, 1 interception, 4 recoveries, and 7 of 11 ground duels won, 1 out of 1 aerial duels won, and was fouled once. What an absolute stat sheet from our Roy Kent. Mr. Clay Holstad, Mr. Hair, there, everywhere. Just an awesome performance. I tweeted out, I think it was somewhere at point in the first half. Good things happen when Clay Holstead is in the Rhode Island FC midfield, and it showed time and time over again. We've probably sounded like a broken record on here all season, saying we need Clay Holstead in the midfield. He gets the start in the midfield last night, and we score 5 goals. Coincidence? I think not. He's got to be there. He's arguably our best player, finally playing in his best position, and look at that result.
I mean, like, I don't want to be a jerk, but we're absolutely right about this one. Like, it's to be clear, not something that's hard to be right about, or something that not every other person has been screaming at their TV or at the stadium. There was a point last night where I just, when I finally was convinced that he was playing in midfield, I just started screaming, like, have the best, like, have fun in Clay, like, go have fun, man. Like, I just love you, see you back in there. 205 was a little confused by that, which is okay. But yeah, it has to be the biggest takeaway of this game is like Kano, please, like, moving forward, it has to, like, I don't care who the hell you have to play at right wing back if we're sticking to this formation, which is fine with me, but Clay Holstead as a central midfielder has to, it's part of the winning formula for this team.
Like, last season, I think you would have to say it's one of the first names on the team sheet was Clay in the midfield, and like how that changed. And I understand losing a player like Turnbull, injuries, but how he's still not one of the first names as midfielder on this team sheet absolutely boggles my mind. Hopefully, this is a turning point. We can see it, and it's able to propel us into some playoff success. But I don't know. I think Jason wants to know if coach just used the regular season as a weird experiment. Maybe.
I think the problem is he is one of the first names on the team sheet. The problem is you have to just he has to plug whatever hole you have elsewhere a lot of the time. And I think that's been, it's a blessing and the curse of his versatility. But again, to be the best version of Rhode Island FC we can be moving forward, he has to be in the midfield.
Gator says this year's surprise was the Tide Talk media pass. Next year it must be the Tide Talk coaching gig. Ryan's working on his certs. You don't want that.
None of you want that.
Oh, man. We don't even want that.
I love that you expressed about the media pass. And I actually will say, shout out to Rhode Island FC for giving us media pass. We really appreciated the opportunity this year, and just happy we didn't screw it up.
That's it. Long may the reign continue. Clay Holstead, midfielder, period, point blank, end of sentence. But where do you want to go next? Chick-fil-A? Do we want to go users, or do you want to go stats? Where do you want to take this, Mr. Healy?
Wait, what was the second option?
User-generated stuff, like people responding to the socials.
Let's go.
Martin says also, click that like button.
Please click the like button and let's go. Let's get the socials going. Let's keep the party going.
All right, let's start on Twitter. Ryan was very happy with me that I put good, better, best, and I didn't add good, bad, ugly for one of the first times. I've been going with dealer's choice on it all because there's been a lot of uglies within, all of it as well. But we'll start on Twitter, and our good friend Mr. Tyler Hatch. RIFC in 3 was tremendously locked in. Good. Clay is a midfielder. Tyler knows ball already. Better. JJ and Noah specifically finding their attacking form together at the best possible time. And best, goals galore. The ghost of FQB is RAFC in 3. I wasn't there. It's never the same without Fluffy Cahog Boy in the house. His good was a complete 90 minutes, a dominant performance at home in front of a sellout crowd. I can't help but giggle because that wasn't a sellout.
Wait, last night I thought that was like the busiest it felt, besides like maybe the 2 Hartford.
I think looking across from us, you saw a sea of blue behind that other goal.
So I am very convinced that just no one is ever in their seats. Because you look around the concourse all game, and there's just so many people.
That is true, but they also did sell standing room only tickets for last night, so that could have been a part of things.
Listen, as long as the club is making the money, that's all I care.
Kevin's better was 7th spot in the table with some space. If the offense can play like that the next 2 weeks, you're looking at 6 points. Best, Clay playing where he fucking belongs. Head scratcher, eh? We also had the onsider with his RIFC in 3. I told you. Good, 5 goals. Better, Clay in the midfield. Best, season-long true fans shining through all year. Thank you to everyone who wrote in on Twitter. We had on Instagram Nothing. All right.
Wow.
Thank you for that. We've been getting some pretty good hits on the Instagram. So
where's Booth Hill Brewing when we need him?
I know he must be sauced. We did get a lot of good followers on there this week though, so that was pretty cool to see.
Yes, and shout out if you are listening or watching. If you don't follow the Instagram, please do. We want to get our live access back.
Please help us out with that. We had on Facebook Paris Peterson's RFC in 3 going up. Don Lindbergh Nor'easter came early. I like that. Today was kind of a dud with the weather though, huh? It didn't rain too hard over here.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I took all our outdoor furniture. It took me like a half hour. Nothing. Not good.
Christopher Peterson had RI greater than FL. If you talk to Scott Hamill, he'd probably agree with you because he's so invested in Rhode Island, even though he's living in Florida now. But that's a totally another topic. Chris Nell had nice win with bonus playoff destiny. They now control their own win and in. So good stuff. Thank you to everyone who wrote on Facebook. And we'll head over to the Defiant 1636 Discord. After I scroll through all of our blog posts,
it's
the Riptide Report.
Today. I'm so sorry for you.
The Riptide Report by Matt Hands is out, and Timmy Sclafani's player ratings are out already. So make sure you check that out. Timmy's RIFC in 3 were free hot dogs. Chelsea had goals galore. Timmy said the hot dog ferry came to 205. You must have missed it because you were down there with us. So Timmy getting free hot dogs is always a good thing.
I would say the free hot dogs, like the fallout from that, there's a lot of very funny stories. One person apparently woke up with hot dogs in their pocket. So shout out to the team for blessing us with that last night.
Good stuff. Scott had his RIFC in 3, still no chicken. Good, another blowout home closer. Better actually attacking options in the final third, and best playoffs. We had Tyler with his good, winning the home finale, better scoring 5 goals, best Indy lost, RFC in 3, just keep going. Leo's good was defense and Koke putting up another shutout with very few good chances allowed, better putting 5 by a keeper that shut us out not too long ago, best repeatedly breaking out into space going forward, and quick touches seeking long balls. Good command of pace all game long, kept Tampa Bay chasing the ball for a majority of the game. RIFC in 3, proper fan appreciation. I do like that one. The real Pawtucket J, right? Like,
you never know.
I don't know if I believe that. His RIFC in 3 was guess who's back. They called me Gator, changed it to RIFC in 6. Felt that down in my bones.
I saw that earlier. I was dying.
I try not to read these so I can have like an authentic reaction to it, and I'm glad about that one. His good was Fuson to JJ, better JJ to Fuson, and best RFC to the playoffs. Andrew Gomes RFC in 3 got 5 on it. Love it. Good stuff there. Timmy also has
him. He put on it as one word. Good use.
Yeah. Totally allow it.
Mm-hmm.
I also will add it back to our story, but Timmy reposted in the Defiance 1636 Discord. So if you're a Defiance member and you check out the Tide Talk channel, his Eastern Conference playoff picture article, it's a living document, talks magic numbers and all of that good stuff with tiebreaker trackers and everything that would lead to RAFC's playoff seeding. So you can go check that out for the latest. And we'll reshare that on the socials as well. Terrace's good was we won, better 3 big points, best goals galore part 2. Was there ever a part 1, Ryan? I know we had something on the schedule that said that, but I don't know.
I'll plead the fifth on that. Or the marketing department of the team.
Terrace's RFC in 3, we are clicking. Mo Brown said we're on a great roll, knock on wood. We're playing ourselves right into the playoffs. A big question is, can we carry this success into higher level games? Las Vegas is last in the West, and Tampa is 10th in the East. Even that dominant performance we had in the Jaeger Cup against Hearts of Pine. Can we adjust, click, and bring it against better competition? That would be great to see, and that's probably $1 million question at this point. Thanks for writing that in, Mo Brown.
Oh, I have an answer to that.
Let's hear it.
I actually think our kryptonite has historically been beating the teams we should beat. We have this season still, even in our worst, have played really well. Like this past run we played, people are just kind of forgetting. We just had a back-to-back against Louisville and Charleston. We actually split those. And I would say the Louisville game, like we were the better team for most of the night. We played really well against Sacramento, who is, I think, second in the West. We've played, even the early in the season against Louisville at Louisville, we played really well. Charleston, we dropped an egg the first game of the season, but yeah, I actually think we've always played well against the big teams. It's actually the smaller teams that'll let us kind of have the ball that we've been annoyed about, because it's like, wait, we just couldn't do anything with it. We're now seeing them able to do that. So I feel actually, I think we actually always said like we feel more confident with us being almost like a worse seed somehow in the playoffs, which makes I half believe that. But yeah, I actually feel confident with us against the big teams. It's the fact that we're actually taking care of the quote unquote smaller teams or worse teams that is actually encouraging at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I would say, with the exception of Louisville, there's no one I'd be afraid of playing in the first round. I don't think we could, go out and theoretically get a result. I think Charleston's actually a better matchup for us compared to Louisville. But we'll continue with these on the socials. Martin's RIFC in 3 was never stop believing. His good was goals galore. Better was clean sheet Koke. Best double act is back. JJ and Noah performing magic when it counts. Love that. So thank you to everyone who wrote in. Again, if you're not already, follow us on all of the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can click the link in the episode description to find those right away. Appreciate everyone who writes in. We post after each match looking for your input and like to share them on air. So thank you for getting them out there. But we did, Ryan, you mentioned we scored 7 goals. Only 2 of them were disallowed. And the Chick-fil-A conspiracy grows in RIFC folklore, as we did have a disallowed goal on a corner kick. Is Chick-fil-A of Attleboro in cahoots with the team, organization, Conno Smith, the players, into not scoring on corner kicks to not feed the people chicken?
Matt, 1 second. I just want to change really quick. So I got my tinfoil hat on. I did realize making this, I don't know how to make a tinfoil hat, so this is the best I got.
It's like a tinfoil bonnet.
I panicked. I had no idea how to do this. But yeah, I believe I am a conspiracy theory believer on this one. We haven't throughout the year, we haven't even looked like we were going to score. We haven't come close. And the fact that
we've kicked it away from the tall guys.
We kicked it away from the tall guys, the gaggle of dudes, as we've called them. And then there's some we were just skying completely over everybody. It just has never looked good all year. It has gotten slightly better throughout the year, but the fact that last night we were treated to a ball in the back of the net, people were chanting chicken, and then the ref pulls up the flag there. It's atrocious stuff. I think everyone needs to be investigated as a part of this. Guys, I know the tinfoil hat's really, really bad.
This is my favorite one. This is my favorite.
Yeah. Listen, it's tough when you just like the idea of a tinfoil hat sounds good, and then you pull out the box. You start staring at like foil. And Alice was like, I don't want to just use all our tinfoil for this bit right now.
Your wife's not home. You don't care. Come here, Graham. Come here. I want to show you something. Come here. Come on, quick. Graham's making an appearance. Graham, what is on Ryan's head?
A trash.
A trash. Yeah. It's good. Thank you, Graham. Aluminum foil. Yeah. Good thing. He said it looked like a wrapper. But your wife's not home. You could use all the aluminum foil and replace it before she go home. You'd be fine.
Again, it was more intimidating than I expected. That was the bigger part of this. But yeah, well, I'm going to kick this over to you. What do you feel about the Chick-fil-A conspiracy theory? I
mean, what did we score? I believe it was 7 goals off corners last season. I could be totally wrong or off base with that one, but
there was a point. There was one game Frank alone scored 2.
We looked it up at one point for sure, and I believe it was 7. So like the fact that it was such a strong suit of ours last year, and it's just like every time one of them is coming, you're like, this isn't gonna happen.
The crazy thing was if you told me like if you were like, hey, we're gonna make these signings, I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna be even better at this. This is awesome,
right?
Like when you sign Ame Habika, you're like, oh wow, awesome. Like we have a guy who's 6'7" on corners.
If you were going to tell me we're starting 3 center backs from 6'7" to probably like 6'1" across the board, and you were also in the same breath going to say, but we didn't score at any corners all season.
But like not even close. Like this was the closest we came to scoring on a corner
for sure.
all year.
For sure. I wouldn't believe you. I would not have believed that you saying we're starting NBA back line and we're not going to score. We're not going to score one header on a corner, or let alone one goal on a corner. If that one of these 6'7" guys is going to 6'7" head it down to someone and score a goal, you know, I don't get it. Don says we're the second tallest team in the league, and I can only remember one really like looking at the players kind of matching up with us on height, and I think it was the game Mabika was suspended, so we didn't have Mr. 6'7" out there. And you know, but like every game you see our center backs enter the box, even add JJ Williams to that conversation, enter the box, and you know, on a corner kick, and you're like, wow, we have such a big height advantage, but we never tried to use it all season long. Someone says take out Kevin and maybe they have the tallest. We might have had I know he's talking Kevin Bank, but we would have had FQB out there on corners. No offense, Kevin. But like that's the style we were going at. Like it just made literally no sense. I don't know what made less sense to you. Us not kicking at these tall guys all season for corner kicks, or Clay not starting in the midfield. Like,
I will say it's still Clay not the midfield. The thing is, we were trying to do the corner, which I feel is just like way too complicated, where we have one person float like towards the back post and we try to hit the one person and they head it across. To me, way too complicated. Like it's like the amount of pinpoint accuracy that happens to happen 2 times in one play is ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, we were trying that for a bit, but I mean, Clay not in the midfield, as we saw last night, is insane.
I really hope that. So we know, you know, a handful of the players watch this show. When we know for certainty Jose Quizero watches this show, I really hope he's flying back from international duty at some point and turns this on and sees you with an aluminum foil beret on your head, and he's just like, oh. Mercy, Ryan.
I'm taking this off soon.
I'm gonna keep dragging this segment out so that you sit there like
the ring light's just making it so much worse too. It's just terrible. It's really bad.
You can see the sweat going. This is awesome. I think you have to. You can't dispose of this now. I think you have to keep it out there until we score a corner. And every game that we do not score on a corner, you need to bring this tinfoil beret back out.
Listen,
let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat. You must agree.
The chat, I'm going to disregard anything you say on this, but I mean, I could reform it. If anyone has any tips on how to make a tinfoil hat, I would happily take them, as you can see. So it's my first time as a conspiracy guy. So, you know, please be kind as I enter this new world.
Absolutely.
But the data, there's too much evidence to turn my back on it. So
Tide Talk Comedy Hour, says Don Lindbergh. Gator said, this is Tide Talk history in the making. We will pass on the lore to our kids. But Ryan, I grant you permission to take your tinfoil hat on. I think viewing the chat, viewing from the two of us, we all agree that there is definitely something going on. I've never not seen Kano at Chick-fil-A, so maybe he's getting some chicken sandwiches on the DL.
Whoa.
I don't know.
There's a lot of reasons for it. One could just be we were very bad at them this year. You know, I don't. Again, it's very weird to have 0 across the entire year. So that's all I'm going to say. Hey, listen, there's still 2 games left, and there could be another match at Tidewater this year. Like there's a lot of scenarios where it could work out. It would take a lot for it to happen, but you know, who knows? Maybe it'll be like a gift to us in a playoff match. Like, how beautiful would that be? As I'm sitting here with my tinfoil beret.
It will not be beautiful because it'll be on the road. So it means.
But like, if all the weird scenarios work out where we host a playoff game, and we score the Chick-fil-A corner, a tear will come to my eye so fast, guys.
I will go to a stand and get some aluminum foil and wrap it up right there.
I will crumple that tinfoil hat up, punt it onto the field so that Clay Holstad could rip one from 50 yards out, like the man he is, in the center of midfield.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going with this, but
I know you got some stats you want to talk.
Oh, we're gonna okay.
Let's use the appointed tinfoil transition.
Beautiful. All right, folks. There we go. All right. So about 2-3 weeks ago, I put together a few slides, and Matt was on the show, but I caught Timmy very flat-footed with the final question of these slides saying, "Are we good?"
This very screen has become a ever running meme joke in the Tide Talk chat now too, which is absolutely awesome.
So I said, "Are we good?" And Timmy couldn't have been more flabbergasted at me even having the audacity to ask that question. The chat gave me hell. I had to take it on the chin from all of you. But the reason I said that, so at the time, I every week I look at this data before the show, and I kind of started just getting a feeling of like, wait a minute, this is starting to look a bit better here. So this is our expected goal differential by match. This has been updated with the last couple games here. But expected goal differential is basically expected goals for, which is basically the percentage that math people think the shot that you took would go in based off like placement, where the shot went, math people, stuff like that, compared to expected goals against, which is the opposite, the team that did that. So as you can see, the past couple little bit, like we started to really tick back up by match. But then when you look at it by the expected goal differential by match on a rolling 5-match average, you really start to see from the depths down here that we really start to creep up towards where we were at the end of last season when we really went on the big run. So at the time I presented this to Timmy, I was saying, hey, listen, in the last 5 league matches, we're 3-1-1. We're averaging 2 points per game. That is literally double than what we've been on all season. Our expected goal differential by match is 0.47, and only Louisville has a better record in the last 5 matches. Timmy thought I was crazy. How dare I do that? Well, folks, when you update that for the most recent 5 matches, we are 4-1-0, 4 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses, 2.6 points per game. Our average expected goal differential has gone up. And the crazier thing is it's not just screw the expected stuff. We're actually scoring goals. We have 12 goals for our goal differential. Our real one is +9. We're now actually back in the positive for the season. And the beautiful thing was I didn't have to change the bottom of the slide. Louisville still somehow has a better record than us. I will say, just to pause here, if I kind of have checked out for what's happening at the top of the table for a while now, take a peek at what Louisville has been doing this season. It's actually insane. Unbelievable. It's genuinely unbelievable what they're doing. But to keep it focused around FC, this was kind of the data that brought me to the conclusion saying, are we starting to get good? Dare I say, I've heard a little bit more people kind of coming around to this theory, Matt. But before we get into a bit more of this, how are you feeling on the are we good?
I think we are. I do think we are a good team. I think the defense and keeper situation has been very good all season long. But I think our attack has been, and midfield at that point, has been less than good. I think our defense is elite in this league. The goals given up is just, very, very low. But the lack of goals for is what makes the differential look worse and all that. Obviously last night helped that out tremendously. But I think, if we were scoring goals, not even at the same rate as last season, but anywhere near it, and, maybe even slightly below it, we'd be way up there as far as points and goal differential and be in a much better position. I do think this is a good team. I think it's a very good team on paper, but I do think there are some other issues that have led to this team not being good on the field this season. Mm-hmm. And for me, a lot of them are coaching decisions. And it just goes back to what we harked on all at the beginning of this episode with you have to play Clay Holstad in the midfield. We haven't seen it, finally saw it, and look at the result.
Yeah. So, it's been one of those things we talked about all year of, the defense is literally, as you said, elite. Koke is truly neck and neck for the Golden Glove. This isn't in the defense being elite. We have one of the lowest goals allowed of the entire league. We also have one of the lowest expected goals allowed. I think we're second there. So that is not a fluke. We just aren't giving up a lot of chances to these teams. We joked that there were so many 0-0, 1-0 matches, but the thing that was causing that was how good our defense was here.
Sure.
But yeah, as we look at these last 5 matches, the big question is kind of what has changed over that. So since August 30th here, we are currently number 1 in the league in expected goals allowed. We are number 16 in expected goals for, and we are number 3 in expected goal differential. But screw the stats, screw all the expected stuff. Let's look at the real stuff here. We're number 2 in goals allowed. So like I said, we're not just like statistically good. We're also not letting the ball in the net. And basically every stat that we're number 2, it's because Louisville's number 1. We are number 5 in goals for. So we are putting the ball in the back of the net. We are slightly outperforming our expected goals, but that is totally fine by me. And we are number 2 in actual goal differential at 1.29 per match, which is a huge margin of error that you give yourself every single match if you can keep doing it. As Matt did say, like last night, put a nice bit of cushion on that, but we have seen over the past few weeks that we have been the team that most games you would say we probably deserve to get the points there. So what has caused all of this to happen? So I have a couple theories here. Number 1, we had a big formation tweak, not big, a tweak here. So for a while we were playing, we experimented with the back 4 for a bit, which I loved. We experimented with kind of having a couple wingers with both Noah and Kuzera up here. But lately we've been playing a similar style, right? This back 3, you have your wing backs, a double pivot. But then we've been playing with a center forward, and I would call them 2 more attacking midfielders. So less wingers and more attacking here. So what has that done? So there's 2 things here. Number 1, it's created, and if you were listening to the podcast, I will do my best, but I would say perfect place to pause, jump on the YouTube, like the YouTube and subscribe, and then you can go back to the podcast. But if you can see this here. So basically, number 1, it creates this box. So in this box, you'll see the double pivot here, which started with Corcoran and Ibarra. We've seen Hugo and Clay last night. We've seen all sorts of combinations here. And then the 2 more attacking midfielders, a lot of times it's Noah Fuson. We've seen Amos here. We've seen Joe Brito here. And they form this box. So number 1, that gives you a nice level of stability here at this kind of the pivot here. So they're not really looking to sprint forward. They have plenty of attacking options, but it also gives a lot better passing options in these triangles. You can like very clearly see them on the graphic here. And then number 2, it gets this kind of trio tighter. One thing that was happening was we had when kind of Noah and Kuzera especially were playing wider, it just looked like they were on an island so much. What's happened now is we have usually JJ Williams with someone like a Noah, an Amos, a Maxi, a Joe Brito, all a little bit more bunched up, and they can actually play as a unit a little bit more there. So what has that caused? So number 1, we've been more direct. So weirdly, after the Charleston match where we won, it was like one of the bigger victories of the year. Kano immediately said, I didn't like what happened. I think we need more possession. Well, unfortunately, that hasn't really happened for Kano, but it's been good for us. So our possession has actually gone since August 30th down to 45% versus 56%, which we were averaging before that. We've also seen our vertical passing distance. So this is the vertical length of passing up the field jump up from 7.65 to 6.36. So we've just been way more vertical, way quicker with the ball. Has led to a little bit less possession, but it's led to increase in big chances here. So we have 1.43 big chances for 1.29. And what I think is really the biggest change here is our shots on target has gone up from 41% from 33%. We talked so much this year about the team would have these shots, but they were almost like it seemed really, really hard for them to get shots off and score goals. We're now finding it with this more direct play. The team can actually, get shots off a little bit better, actually get them on target, and actually create big chances here. So, Matt, in terms of both the formation tweak, the directness, have you felt that?
Yeah, I think your point of, if you go back to your slide with the box and the circle there about really kind of pinching the 2 wingers in, or you call them the 2 attacking midfielders in closer to JJ. You definitely saw that with Noah, on that first assist he had with JJ. You saw JJ to Noah with that as well. So, I do think that's a really good thing. And I think Noah's kind of real ideal position with this team is more of a false 9 or a shadow striker that can kind of play off somebody with hold up play like JJ, and then they can feed each other and vice versa. So I think that is a really good tweak. Last night, I really loved that double pivot pairing of Clay and Hugo, and I'm a big Mark Ibarra fan, so I want to start off by saying that, but I think the Clay Hugo double pivot might be the best combination that we have going for it. I think they're both so very progressive in their passing, Clay with his dribbling, but I also think that the fact that Hugo is also a center back, you have that by nature, almost a center back, you have that defensive stability with him in there too. And I think they played off of each other really well, and they were able to cover each other's ground when the other one advanced and really kind of pick up on that. So I always love seeing a good double pivot. Not just Timmy and Andrew, but I will drink some espresso for that. But I think that we might have found the best double pivot that we have in the squad with the two of those players last night. Your thoughts on that?
I would argue that Haraval is in. Personally, I would love to see a Clay Haraval double pivot.
Where would you put Hugo?
I want Hugo at right back, but I would put him in the back three.
Okay.
Again, though, very beautiful problem to have, because I do think Hugo was fantastic. But to your point, right? Like, the reason we can go more direct in this, and this is back to the formation tweak graphic. You have that kind of flat, the double pivot there, who can kind of create that stability for you. And then you also have people tighter up. So when you go along the JJ, there's actually people there to clean up those second balls. We saw so much this year. We go along the JJ, he would fight off his man, do his job, but then there's only like 5 other people on the other team around him versus anyone else from Rhode Island FC to clean up that second ball. Again, losing Clay Holstad, who is the best in the league at getting that second ball, hurts, but also just having no one even near JJ to do that naturally really hurts there. But speaking of Noah and JJ, they are also the big beneficiary and reason for this. And, when Rhode Island FC hit their best run of form last year, it was also JJ and Noah who, kind of really offensively lit the spark for us. And it was really them playing, as you said, more as a 1-2 punch, with JJ being kind of your classic target man, with Noah being your classic like second striker, shadow striker, false nine, whatever you want to call him. So since September 13th, so that's like really when the offense has started to take off. Noah is 5th in the league in goals and assists per match. He's 4th in expected assists per match. He's 8th in key passes per match. So again, he's both putting the ball in the net or assisting, but also like statistically, it's really making sense. And then you see JJ here. He's 4th in goals plus assists per match. He is 7th in the league in expected goals and expected assists per match. He's now 3rd in shots on target per match. And this is massive. So over the past 2 seasons, JJ has averaged only about 30% of his shots on target per match. He's currently up to about 38%. And that's a pretty massive jump for him. You see the Cal Jennings of the world sitting around that 41%. So for JJ to start, I think we saw it, especially in Hartford, right? He had a couple half chances and all of them went wide, or, Siaha had no saves that night. 1 or 2 of those gets on net. It's a little bit different of a game that we were talking about. So, both JJ said it in his press conference when he was like, the net's just looking a little bit bigger right now. And the two of these guys getting confidence, really building their form up, is what really, is making Rhode Island FC tick offensively. And, long may it continue there.
For sure. Good question from Jason in the chat. Does Maxi stay a sub right now with this lineup and kind of this transformation of it?
In my best 11 lineup, I think it's JJ, Noah, and Maxi as that trio up top, and I think we'd absolutely cook there.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like it's working. Like Maxi, his past 2 appearances, he's either had a goal or an assist off the bench. But I do think if you're like who's the most talented 11 players, I think Maxi has to be in there.
I agree with you there as well.
I think that's the last slide. That is the last slide. Yeah. So it really, like, we're seeing, quite frankly, like what a lot of this tactical tweak made happen is we're playing a little bit more like we were last year when we hit our best run of form. But really, it's all about closing the spaces between the people who you want to be kind of working together, working as a unit, and it's working out for us. So, so far so good. We're only as good as our last game, but last night I think was a true showing of like what this team can be at their best. Kano said it a ton in his press conference, but when you have Noah and JJ cooking up top, you have Clay and Hugo and the back line kind of all in sync there. We again can be a really, really, really tough team to play against, and excited to see how they keep building on this.
For sure. I think definitely the goals came from this new kind of look. And I think you highlighted that really well on the slides. Great job on that, my friend. And it's just going to be kind of staying healthy, avoiding discipline problems, and kind of slotting in the right guys at the right time. And now we do have some depth. We do have some options. And we do have some guys contributing off the bench, which is all systems go, hopefully, for a good playoff run and what we want to see. Who'd have thought we'd be talking about that a couple of weeks ago in the dark times. Nights were dark and full of terror, for sure.
Gator said it like a while ago in the chat, but he was like, do you guys remember when he did like a 2-hour post Hartford just
funeral
doom session? Like I totally hear you. Everybody who's probably saying that and yelling it at their screen at some point. Stuff got dark. I made a joke to the Tide Talk guys, say like, don't talk to us if you weren't doing podcasts or doing content in the depths of like the June, July, like Indy 1-0 at Indy matches and stuff like that. Like I absolutely hear everybody. Like, we're not sitting here like everything is solved. This is perfect now. Like it's a work in progress, and just quite frankly happy to see this team being the team that we kind of always hoped they would be. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, again, always as good as your last game here.
That's it. And next up for RIFC is a trip to North Carolina as we take on North Carolina FC next Saturday at 7 p.m. on the road. So make sure you head to the Guild for the watch party if you can make it, and hopefully see 3 points. I think we only need 2 points in that matchup to clinch our playoff spot. So we can clinch with a win, or if Indy drops points as well. So if Indy were to lose and we were to draw, we would get in that way as well. But hopefully we are able to.
I think actually if Indy just loses, we're in.
What's that?
I think if Indy just loses, we're in.
That's true too. Could be. Yeah. But go check out Timmy's playoff picture. So you can get all that tiebreaker stuff and all that magic number information on there.
Listen,
thanks again.
Win and you're in. That's all that matters. Win and you're in, and that's
it. Take care. Control your own destiny. That's what you got to do. Thanks to everyone who stuck with us through this one. If you're still here, make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Subscribe to our channel if you're not subscribed already. But thanks again for joining. That'll wrap things up. Remember, Tide Talk is more than just a podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for daily social media content. Click that link in this episode description to follow all of our accounts. Head to our Instagram. Check out the Instagram story. There's a sliding chicken poll where you can vote on, is the chicken conspiracy real? Tinfoil hat and all. We are believers. If you're a believer, we're here for you. We believe with you. The conspiracy is real. There was a fix not to feed us. And Portland Hearts of Pine isn't getting their cage-free eggs. So there's a lot of poultry problems running through the USL Championship, and ours is number one in my heart right now. So hopefully we can host a playoff game. We'd score a corner, and they'd tell us, guess what? That promotion was only good for the regular season anyway. Guaranteed.
110%.
Well, thanks again for joining. We'll see you next time. I've been your host, Matt, from my good friend Ryan. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for joining. And as always, up the Tide.
Up the Tide.